What's up guys, welcome back to another video, and in this video I'm doing my well-anticipated PvP tutorial. I was gonna do it at 1K, and then I took a poll in my Discord, join if you want to be a part of those polls and stuff like that, and tutorial 1, so we're doing it now. So this tutorial is going to be going over aiming, knockback resetting, momentum, rodding, strafing, and clicking. I'll probably have timestamps in the description, so if you only want to look at one of those parts, go ahead and go click on that. Other than that, let's get straight to it and hop into the tutorial. Also, if you enjoy this, subscribing is very cool. I've been gaining a lot of subscribers recently. I'm doing this in one day, because if I don't, I think I'll hit 600 before this even comes out. Thank you guys so much. I know a lot of you are here for Dream SMP content, and I'll be doing that shortly after this. But this is for my OG subscribers who've been wanting it for a while. Aiming is by far the most important part of Minecraft PvP. When you want to do it, you want to keep it smooth, you want to keep your tracking locked on to your target. It's not like other games where reaction time is the most important detail like in CSGO, but this is literally just downright tracking. You gotta keep your aim smooth, it can't be jittery, otherwise you'll start missing. Just practice smoothing, like just keeping it on your player. That's all it takes. Another way to help yourself really start getting that smooth mouse movement is a low DPI. I personally have a 400 DPI and a 47% in-game sensitivity, and I think that really helps. But then again, sensitivity is personal preference and what you're used to, so just do what works for you.
Oh my god.
So the reach which a player has, which is represented by this blue line when you have hitboxes on in Minecraft, comes straight out from a person's head. So if a person is looking straight, their reach extends as far forward as possible. If you've taken Algebra 1, Techno explains this really well in his dream analysis video, but it's like the thing a squared plus b squared equals c squared. The side of a triangle is a lot shorter than the hypotenuse. So like if he's looking at me like that while I'm looking at his feet, his line is going to touch me way before my line even gets close to him. Just because the hypotenuse is longer, and you don't have that much reach. This is also why the low ground in Minecraft is actually just way more overpowered. Because if you're at the low ground, if you play it right, you can be in a position where even if he's spamming at you as fast as he can, you can just hit him every single time. Because your line touches his feet before his line touches you. Just like that. So that theory of taking the low ground also affects in PvP fights. So you always just want to aim straight. If you're aiming down, you'll lose out on reach, because most people actually aim towards the player's chest since it's the easiest spot to hit on them. But you're missing out on some reach, even how slight it is. It'll give you that first hit and give you the priority of the combo. Okay, so once you get that good aim to start the combo, the trick to keeping those combos is momentum. Momentum in Minecraft is very movement-based. The person who has more acceleration forward has a much higher chance of hitting the opponent multiple times. Explaining this is something that I use to teach people. So if he's walking backwards and spam hitting, and I'm walking forwards and spam hitting, there's no way in which he can hit me. It is not possible at all. From his perspective, it looks like I'm 5 blocking him, and this is how people keep combos. Like, this is the view from his perspective. Look at how far it looks like he's hitting me from. This is how combos are made, and this is how they are kept. This is how fights are won. So Minecraft has a mechanic where the first hit you give deals a lot of knockback, while every hit following that gives significantly less knockback. Do you see how this first hit launches him close to like 4 or 5 blocks, while the second hit will only take him like 1 block? So there are multiple ways people use to give that big amount of knockback, that first hit knockback, every single time. And this is how combos are kept. The most common of those methods is block hitting. If you look in the top left, you can see my keystrokes, but block hitting is when you press left and right click at the same time. See how my sword does that fancy animation. And you see how my left mouse button and my right mouse button are both being pressed down. So doing this gives that first amount of knockback. See how he's taking that big 5 block knockback every single time. And this is arguably the easiest way of getting that knockback reset. There are multiple ups and downsides of block hitting too that the other methods don't have. When you're blocking your sword, you remove 50% of all damage coming in, but it also makes you incredibly slow. This is good, So when people hit you, you take 50% less damage, but it also makes you a lot more susceptible to getting into a combo because you aren't moving as fast as your opponent, which gives them more momentum and them a higher chance of comboing you. So the second way to do this knockback resetting, and arguably the most widely used, is called W tapping. So to do this, every time you hit them, you let go of W. If you look in the top left, you let go of W and then you press it again, simulating that you're starting a hit every single time and you're getting that first initial amount of knockback. If you do this mid-combo every time you get a hit, you can really keep them back and keep your combo going. A lot of people, when they start W tapping, they'll spam it like this, which sometimes works, but it doesn't give you as much forward momentum because you're not holding W as much. What you really want to try and do is hold it until you see them go red and bounce back and get that sound cue, and then let go, and then press it again. Just do it once. That's all you need. You do not need to spam it like this. That doesn't work as well. So the third way to do it, this is the least used method, is called S-tapping. There's actually 2 different ways to S-tap, and the first one I don't do, but I'll explain it to you anyway. So people hold W, and every time they press, instead of letting go in W or block hitting, they also press S. If you look in the top left, I have both buttons pressed down at the same time, and this makes me stop in my tracks. And then they'll let go of S. W is always being pressed, but S is being pressed just like W is being released in the W tap. After you get that hit, you press W and you continue the combo. That method is just a replacement for W tapping if you don't personally like letting go of all your movement options, and that's why I personally don't use it. This other method of S tapping is more situational based, which if you're too close to the enemy player, it'll back you up a little bit. So for this, you hold W until you hit them, then you let go of all your movement options, and you actually just press S, moving backwards and further away. If done right, this is easily the most effective way to keep a combo in which they literally just can't hit you because you're moving backwards and out of their reach every single time, as well as getting that knockback reset. This is also the hardest one to do, as it's easy to get out of their reach and then they have time to move away as you're going in for the next combo. But if you get good at it, it's really effective. Now rodding. If you have a rod in the duel, use it. You're not going to win the fight if you're not using the rod, if it's available. Because the best way to think of a rod is an extended hit. It's a hit of reach. So you can start with that rod hit, giving them that knockback back and giving them that momentum disadvantage. So that's all there really is to it. You got to aim it. If they're strafing left and right, you got to aim it a little bit ahead, kind of like a bow, but really just think of it as an extended hit, as a hit of reach. Also, another thing, there's something called infinite rodding. You see how my rod is taking durability every time I use it? This is sometimes bad in UHC fights, as your rod will literally just break if the fight is too long. If you want an infinite rod, you bring out your rod, and instead of reeling it in, switch to your sword. I don't know if this was an intended mechanic or a glitch, but this makes it so you do not use any durability. See, I can do this as much as I want, and I will not use up any durability. If I start doing this, you can visibly see my durability go down. Now the bow. You can think of this as a further extended hit. I would never use these going into a fight, but use them to pick up somebody that's running away and on low health. Or if you're in a position where you don't have a rod, but you only have a bow, you can even do low charge bow shots and act as if it's a rod. Gives them that little bit of knockback to start your combo, that extended hit. And to do those low charge bow shots, literally just don't charge your bow. You see how it goes down like that versus pulling it all the way back. These don't do damage though. These low charge bow shots do 0 damage. It's just to act like a rod. If you want to actually deal damage, pull your bow back all the way, because it will not do anything if you don't. So strafing. I'd like to think of strafing as dodging your opponent's rods, but most of all, you want to keep it just as irregular and unpredictable as possible. You want to make it so you're hard to hit, so when the opponent's trying to aim at your head or aim at your chest, they just downright miss, and you can go in closer and get that combo. And if you think of it as dodging the opponent's rods, just try and predict where they're going to throw your rods, dodge theirs, and then rod them to get that extended hit and go in and continue the combo. The key is just to keep it irregular. You don't want to just do the same thing over and over again, or just straight up straight line them, because then they'll start predicting it and hitting you like that. And them getting those hits on you is just catalyst for them starting their combo. And another thing, once people get super tunnel visioned on strafing, they forget about the knockback resetting, which is also incredibly important. When you start your hits, you want to keep strafing. Well, you can strafe and W tap at the same time. You can strafe and S tap at the same time. You can do all these things. There's something called circle strafing, which is a way to start learning the concept of W tapping and strafing at the same time, where you just hold one button. Although this isn't as good as just like keeping it irregular and just doing a couple hits this way, a couple hits that way. It'll get you started on the concept. So keep everything irregular, but don't forget to do your W tapping. It also works with block hitting, S tapping, all of that. Now for clicking. I was going to do a really long and in-depth tutorial on every single clicking method and how to do them, but it was boring, so I'm not actually doing that, and I'm just going to try and emphasize that clicking is really just not the most important thing in Minecraft PvP. Focus on your aim, focus on your strafing, focus on everything else I've mentioned in this video, and then clicking should come after. A lot of people think clicking is the most important thing, and they'll just get tunnel visioned on clicking, and then they'll mess up on everything else and just get into the habit of straight lining people with like 20 CPS, and it won't really work against better players. Like me, I normal click because that gives me the best aim and that allows me to do everything else that I need to do. So just find the clicking method that works the best for you and do that to the best of your ability. But I know people who can click like 6 CPS that are still insanely good at the game, so it really just doesn't matter. Just do what's comfortable for you. So finally, the last thing that really separates a good PvPer from a really exceptional one is the ability to put all these things that I've mentioned in this video together and doing them all simultaneously. You need to strafe while knockback resetting. You need to have a clicking method that allows you to track on your opponent. What I've been getting at this entire video is that I can explain you these topics, but you're the person that has to really practice them and then really learn to put them together. For me, it just came naturally, but I'm sure that anybody watching this video can learn to put these things together and learn to become just a really exceptional Minecraft PvPer. Alright, this was more just like a basic overview of everything you need to know to get a start on becoming a good Minecraft PvPer. If anybody in the comments that made it this far wants a more detailed guide on any of these subjects, let me know and I can probably make it. But most of all, if you liked, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, all of that buttons are very cool. But most of all, thanks for watching, thanks for getting this far, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!